Hey guys, I'm Munir, your go-to sales coach for crushing it in Dubai real estate. Now in my previous video, I broke down exactly how to handle objections and flip them into opportunities. Today, we're going to take it a step further and put it into a live call instead of just theory, so that you understand how this works. You're about to listen to a real life call with a client, and hopefully he answers and hopefully he comes up with some of these objections because they are coming up a lot at the moment. So let's go ahead and dive right into the call.
Hello.
Hey, good afternoon, Ahmed. How are you?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Ahmed, I don't know if you remember, we briefly spoke last week about some Dubai investments. Is now a good time to chat for a couple of minutes?
Yeah. We spoke last time. Uh, but I'll be honest, I'm a bit unsure right now with everything that's going on.
Yeah, of course. No, I expected you would say that, and that's exactly why I called. So look, I just wanted to understand what's the main thing holding you back at the moment.
Well, honestly, see, it's the whole situation, what's happening right now, the geopolitical tensions, the news. It doesn't just feel like the right time.
Okay, I completely get that. I'm getting the same thing from most of my inexperienced clients, the ones who have never invested before, and this is going to be their first property. So they're saying a similar
Yeah.
thing. But let me ask you something, Ahmed. When global uncertainty hits the markets, do you usually see opportunities happening before or after it feels safe?
I mean, yeah, before, I guess.
Okay, amazing, exactly. Because by the time things feel safe and you've seen the headlines that things are back to normal, prices will have already adjusted. So that's what I want to
Yeah.
discuss with you. And this is the reality specific to Dubai, especially, Ahmed. With everything happening globally, transactions
Yeah.
here are still happening on a massive scale. I'm sure you've seen those transactions in your feeds. So
Yeah.
investors aren't actually exiting, they're just repositioning. You will see one or two panic sells. And to be
Yeah.
honest, we need that to happen in the market. I like to see that because we don't want weak hands in the market. However, the
Yeah.
question isn't really, is this a bad time to buy? It's more of a repositioning. Is it an early entry window before the next move?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I see your point, but for me, the question is, what if prices drop? That's my main concern.
Yeah, it's a good question. And let's break it down logically and not emotionally, because emotional decisions are not great for investment. They're great for everything else.
Yeah.
So right now,
Right.
what are you hearing globally? I'm sure you're hearing about oil prices rising. You're probably hearing about shipping costs increasing, and inflation
Yeah.
is happening again, mainly because obviously with the conflict, the oil prices and the
Yeah.
shipping lane has closed. So those two are directly affecting construction costs. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So with inflation as well, that was already happening. The Fed have already mentioned that they're planning to reduce interest rates. And what happens when they reduce interest
Oh.
rates? Inflation happens, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So that's the main thing I wanted to just explain to you. The other thing is, with the transactions happening around, we're around 2.5 billion dirhams on average per day in Dubai alone, which is more already than this time last year on a daily average. So we're already at a good point in the market. Now, that will increase over time once this conflict
Right.
starts slowing down and coming towards an end, which again gives the developer more reason to readjust their pricing, right?
Yeah. I guess. Yeah.
Great. And then the other thing, of course, with the oil price and the shipping prices going up and inflation coming, if that happens, it makes it more expensive for developers to build new property. And is it safe to say that developers will eventually adjust their pricing to go in line with that? They will have no choice, right?
Yeah. That is
Amazing.
same.
Amazing. So look, I'm glad we're on the same page now. So that's why experienced investors are not waiting for prices to drop in environments like this. They usually try to enter before those higher costs start to show up again. Before, for example, the next set of launches, which will eventually come back again, because at the moment we're not seeing a lot of launches. And
Yeah.
once developers do adjust their prices, that's when a lot of investors like yourself will see that they've waited or realize that they've waited too long. And it happened during COVID. They waited and waited, and every month the pricing went up, and they thought there's going to be a correction, and it never came. And they ended up buying later. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I do remember when things happened around COVID. But,
Amazing.
I still feel like maybe I should just wait a little bit more and just see how things play out.
Okay, look, that's very fair. Let me give you a different way to look at it. Waiting does feel safe, but it's actually a decision. Because while you're waiting, two things can actually happen. Either the prices are going to stay stable, which they are at the moment, or they will go up. So thankfully, we're in the stage where it's not went up yet. Now, the other thing is demand will pick up again and better deals start to disappear. For example, we're in a phase where developers are offering a little bit more flexible payment plans, and the entry prices that we're at right now, because there's barely any launches and there are not a lot of clients in the market, we can potentially negotiate with smaller developers some of the discounts available. The other thing you need to know is that there is less competition from buyers at the moment, so it means you have more chance to choose the unit that you want rather than waiting until everyone wants to buy at the same time, which is eventually going to happen once everything starts to get back to normal. So do you want to choose the unit that works for you now, or do you want to wait and try and take a risk? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
I get your point.
Great. So what happens then? Prices will get tighter, and waiting doesn't remove the risk. It's just going to shift it. So just so that I understand properly where your sort of mindset is at, are you looking at a rental income, or are you looking at capital appreciation mostly?
Like we discussed the last time. For me right now, I'm just looking for mostly appreciation.
Okay, amazing. Because timing matters even more for you with capital appreciation, because it comes from entering before the growth happens rather than during or after growth.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, don't jump into anything today. Let's at least look at what options are available before making a decision, and then we'll look at what opportunities are available today, because they might not be available 30 to 60 days from now. Does that sound fair to you?
Yeah, I do agree. That makes sense.
Amazing. So what I'll do, I'm going to walk you through a couple of the best projects. I just need to pick out which ones suit within the requirements we spoke about last time and that are positioned well in the market at the moment where we can take advantage of. I'll show you real numbers of prices, payment plans, and where the upside will happen for you. Okay, so there's no pressure, it's just clarity. Now, let's arrange the Zoom meeting. Would you prefer 6 p.m. tonight or the same time tomorrow at 10 a.m.?
Let me just check my calendar one moment.
Okay, amazing.
I think we can do tomorrow at 10. It can work.
Tomorrow at 10, amazing. Okay, I'll get that in the diary immediately, Ahmed. So I'm going to send you a Zoom link shortly. We'll speak tomorrow at 10 a.m. And when we speak, you'll have a much clearer picture of whether now is a good time to invest.
Yeah.
Instead of guessing based on headlines. All right?
All right, yeah. That sounds good. Okay.
Amazing. Speak to you tomorrow, Ahmed. Have a good day.
Yeah. You too. Bye.
Bye. Now you've seen that call in action. The difference between an average agent and a top agent is how we provide the clarity in uncertain times like this. You have to understand that these investors, they need someone to hold their hand and walk them through and guide them through everything. They don't want somebody that's uncertain or weak. So we've done well. We've overcome objections. He gave me 3 objections, I believe, or 4 objections, which is amazing because the more objections he gives you, the more chance you have to overcome that objection. It means he has less objections on the next call. And now we've got the Zoom meeting booked. I can show him a couple of projects. Don't put him under any pressure. What it will do is he'll start to realise that, okay, he's actually went and done the work for me. And now we can look at the next stage. The next stage for me is providing the projects, trying to confirm a soft closing on that call. Which project do you prefer? And then we go to the final Zoom call, which he should be selecting the exact unit that he wants. Anyway, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. If you like this one, please subscribe, drop a like and a comment with your thoughts below if there was anything you think you would struggle with in objection handling, and we can do it on another call.